Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of April 2nd, 2017. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. And it is a big week as part of the larger Venus retrograde season that we are in the middle of, a pivotal moment as part of that larger season. So one of the larger things I want to say right off of the bat, one of the things that a lot of people on social media that we are talking about is the importance of being kind and gentle to each other now in all matters of heart, because lots of vulnerabilities arising for all of us in at least one area of life. If you or someone you know is born right around between the 15th and 25th of the month, you are going to find this an especially important time, but all of us in one way or another are going to be finding ourselves looking at issues of worthiness, issues of love and honesty, and where it is that we feel we have that or don't, where we're giving it or not, and why. So there's a real sense now of digging very deep and finding answers, and sometimes those answers actually being connected to what actually is the case, and where it is those answers may be connected to much deeper issues being touched on right now. And that really is thanks to Venus retrograding back into the sign of Pisces, meeting Chiron in the sky. At the same time, what we have happening this week is Saturn standing still in the sky, going retro. And slowly over the course of this week, Venus will, as she retros, ease into an exact conversation with that Saturn late this week. So this is energy we're going to feel building throughout the week. Really important to be kind and gentle to the people out there and to observe and own our own emotional reactions where possible. Now, ownership doesn't mean necessarily acceptance of things that we should not accept in our lives. It doesn't mean not changing things where we have the power to change, but it does mean at the very least being willing to acknowledge what we feel. And that can be a very powerful thing. That can go a very long way right about now. And being willing to examine the deeper motivations and the deeper triggers to what it is that is really going on. I also think of this particular conversation as having to do with powerlessness, particularly powerlessness in matters of love and matters of heart. Now that can be with love and relationships, of course, but think about what you love. And one really good way to think about that, if you are a student of astrology, if you have your chart, if you know anything about your chart, consider your own chart and where Venus is in your natal chart. Wherever that Venus is, whatever area of life that Venus is in, that will speak very powerfully to you about where it is you are learning about love and where it is you need to experience love if you are going to feel right with yourself, if you are going to feel that there is love in your life. And we all need to feel that. It's a very core human experience to feel love, and wherever Venus is in your chart points the way. So whenever Venus moves around in the sky, regardless of where it is, what we call transiting, but regardless of where she's moving, what area of life she may be touching, yes, that matters. Yes, that is important, and that will be for a time. But in some way, it will always connect to where Venus is in your unique birth chart. So it is worth looking into if you are a student of astrology in particular, and if not, maybe ask a student of astrology, reach out to somebody, connect with other students of astrology online on social media is a great place to connect with others and ask and figure out where Venus is in your unique birth chart. And that will help you to understand also where it is that Venus is asking you to connect with an energy of love and to understand where sometimes powerlessness happens. Sometimes a need for acceptance and surrender is there as well, and finding the higher wisdom where sometimes apparently it doesn't seem apparent right on the surface, but sometimes where it seems not necessarily evident that wisdom is playing out, still there's the invitation there to find it and accept it and to help develop that very wisdom. And so this is that opportunity right now with a sky like this. And we are going to be strengthened for the endeavor and for the effort. What I'm really excited about this week is the fact that Mars and Pluto are going to speak in supreme harmony. When Mars and Pluto speak to each other in this type of conversation, it is a chance to knock it out of the park or bring forward any kind of sports analogy, superhero analogy that you need to succeed and to excel wherever you need to bring forward that quality. So it could be work related, it could be love related, it could be personal wisdom and understanding related. However it is and wherever it is that you feel you need that extra little bit of power that's going to help you to pull yourself over and to push yourself so that you actually can feel a sense of success, a sense of achievement, a sense of bringing forward your absolute best in one special moment where you especially need it. This is the chance to do just that. And I think that this is going to work so well with helping us to make a decisive decision. And this ultimately is also energy of transformation. Transforming our current circumstances, transforming our hearts, transforming our minds, and transforming our lives in a way that ultimately ends up being hugely empowering and allows us to feel a real sense of gaining something that can be eternal, that truly can last, that can be something that we feel was worth all the stuff we went through. So all the Venus meeting Chiron squaring Saturn stuff that we may go through that can hurt, that can be inconvenient, that can be tiring, that can be draining. It is this conversation with Mars and Pluto that says, you know what, in the end of it, at the ultimate moment, and through it all, we may find ourselves feeling like, you know what, all of that, it was totally worth it. To be where we are right now, to have the understanding, to have made the choice, to discover our power, all of that completely worth it. Also this week, we are going to have the sun standing across Jupiter. Now this is over optimism. This is way overdoing it. So we may overshoot the mark in at least one area of life. I don't think it's a huge tragedy to be overconfident, but I do think that this could really be misjudging a particular circumstance, and that could contribute to some vulnerability. Again, I don't necessarily think that that can be a huge misstep, especially if you gain something in the process. But I do really love the fact that we are encouraged to believe in ourselves and we do something. We are encouraged to do something when we actually take some kind of action here where we end up saying, wow, I was really gutsy. Wow, that meant I believed in myself in some way. And that belief in yourself, that should be the emphasis. That can be something that we celebrate, that we believed ourselves enough to be willing to go out there and be whatever you want to call it. To be foolish, to take a chance, to not fully assess whether or not we were ready for a particular opportunity, but to try, to ask, to be willing. That's a beautiful thing. And the great thing is with this particular conversation, one way that it absolutely works to our advantage is it shows us the steps that we may need to take to actually get to the full fruition of what it is that we desire to be and what it is we actually desire to experience. And so it will be 6 months down the road, about give or take, when the sun meets Jupiter in the sky. That tends to be the time when there comes a sense of fruition, if you will. This is the check-in point. This is where we get to ask ourselves, okay, are we on track to the full fruition of all the blessings that Jupiter can bring into our life? And sometimes that sense of honesty, that check-in moment comes because we sort of have a moment where we think we're further along than we actually are. And then we realize we sort of, are reset in some way to realize where we actually are based on missing the mark or overstepping the mark. Having that ability to then sort of regroup allows us to make a plan going forward that actually does help us get to where we do want to go. This can be a tremendous time. And remember, I know that there's lots that's really good happening here. The fact that Saturn is going retro is going to allow us to take that very energy of what otherwise would be a sense of restriction and allow us to ask ourselves, where is it now that we can look at the world with greater wisdom? Where is it now that we can own a sense of greater happiness? Where is it that we can take responsibility for the happiness that we experience in our lives and fully own that? And what is it going to look like for us? And where is it that we need to own that more fully? Where is our work that needs to be done if we are going to have the type of tangible manifestations in at least one area of life where we most desire it? And what can we do to get ourselves there? The inner work part is what starts to happen when Saturn goes retro. And that is what is on offer now this week. I absolutely love this sky. I know that some of the more visceral, more on the surface energy is going to be that Venus. And so again, it's really important to be very kind and gentle with the people you love now, where possible. And yet, at the same time, it is so important to celebrate those moments where there is real potential now to grow, to be better, to see ourselves more clearly, but also to smile and to realize that we are so much more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your patience with this video. As you may know, if you're connected with me on Facebook and Twitter, I did post last night. I had some issues with my security box here. It's my last day right now in Colombia. And during this last 10 days here in Colombia, I've had some very interesting, what I'm calling relocated third house issues. So basically, this is the third hotel I've been in pretty much, and I've been locked out of different security boxes here. So I think there's a larger spiritual lesson there for me that I've been contemplating. But essentially what happened was I was locked out of my security box and no one could help me get in. And it had the microphone and the lights and all the little tech things I use to make these videos. And rather than just hold my phone and have a shaky phone with really bad audio, I thought, okay, please allow me a little bit of extra time to get this video to you. And I really appreciated the patience and the graciousness. Thank you so much. I also do very quickly want to give a shout out and a big burst of gratitude to Refinery 29. I want to thank them so much. Much to my surprise, what happened this week during my travels, I got an email and it said that they had created a list of the top 10 astrologers on YouTube. And I clicked on that link, and who was right at the top of that list? Me. I couldn't believe it. Well, I was really, really excited. And it was just the smile and the boost and the gratitude, all of it that I needed. So thank you so much to Refinery 29. Thank you so much to all of you guys for your love and support and enthusiasm for that as well. And just for being part of my spiritual journey, for being part of me being exactly where I am. I'm so grateful for all of it. And thank you for being here. As always, you can get expanded horoscopes looking at the week ahead right now. Log on to astrofabulous.com and you can check out the video for your sign to look at how all this wonderful stuff this week, how Venus and Saturn and the conversation with Mars and Pluto and the conversation with the Sun and Jupiter, how all of that is speaking to you and your sign. You can get that expanded and exclusive video scope available only to superstars right now at astrofabulous.com. Now, this conversation between Venus and Saturn is so important that I actually spoke about it in the monthly horoscopes, and they're on YouTube right now, so you can go ahead and click on that also. But of course, the expanded and exclusive horoscope video scopes are for superstars at astrofabulous.com as well. So thank you everybody out there. Thank you for your patience. So grateful for it. Thank you, Refinery 29. And thank you for watching. I'm truly so grateful for it. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.